2010, 2011. And I've watched the incredible growth and natural expansion of their journey. And I've been, intricately a part of that as necessary. So I'm here as a resource for you. We have a new joiner here. All right. Hello. Good to see your smiles. I love it. We're all smiling today. No one's exhausted. We must be all on the right regimens. So I was just giving a quick brief intro. I see some new faces, and I thought that'd be, really cool to kind of, talk about what the goal is. We have the power to really construct and create different products and formulas, and my passion is the alchemy in it all, and seeing the end outcome and what can happen, and more importantly, all the intricacies that are connected that we may not be able to see right away, or we're just genuinely caught up in so much of our day-to-day grind that it's nice to kind of take a step back and have a good chat about things going on that we can discover, and maybe that could turn into a little bit of education, a pearl of wisdom, or something that I get to be excited about to learn, to also have that experience because it's reciprocated. So I'm feeling called to Brenda today. Brenda, what is something that is on your mind right now that you're kind of going through your practice and you might be a little skeptical or just kind of wondering, because you seem like you have a very keen eye, that validation is necessary. So let's just dive right into it.
Yeah. So as far as like supplements and things, or
yeah, look, this is integrative practice, right? So
sure.
Every time, whether we're telling people to fast, or we're trying to help them sleep, or we're providing hormone, replacement, modulation, implants, whatever may be the case, and then there's supplementation involved. It's all interconnected. So what's one thing that you would kind of, that could be on your mind today? What are you thinking about?
Oh, I've been talking to patients a lot about magnesium because I think it's like a really important supplement. And so, and the different types of magnesium. And so that is something that sometimes I, do a lot of education on, which kind of might be most helpful to them as far as if they need magnesium threonate or glycinate, or, and so and then finding what products we have that has magnesium in it. So that would be something that I've been wanting to chat with you about too.
Okay. Yeah. There's a couple of products that come to mind. One product that I absolutely love is the, let me see, do you have it on? The Immune Boost. The Myers Immune Boost. I mean, we basically created this formulation based off of the Myers cocktail, but looking at it more orally. And that actually has, that's got about 500 grams of magnesium per serving, and they could, there's a lot of people that might need 2 scoops or breaking up a scoop twice a day. But let's talk about magnesium for a second, right? Because that's something that you're 100% right. It is responsible for all the smooth muscle control in our body. So there's a huge interconnection and relation to magnesium acting as a required element to function, but it's also very big in an adaptogenic lifestyle. So when patients are coming stressed and they lack sleep and they kind of get sick a lot, or they've got weird aches and pains in their joints, but it's not necessarily, rheumatic or the inflammation's not pro-inflammatory, but coming from a lack of. Magnesium is important. However, there are two factors we have to consider with magnesium. Factor one is, what's the cortisol behavior like in their body? What is it like? Because if every single thing is fight or flight that they're experiencing in their life, that they're absorbing it in that way, then there's going to be a lot more magnesium consumption. So two major ways we can get rid of magnesium is exercise and sweating and stress. Those are two fundamentally critical elements that impact magnesium. And then we have magnesium absorption. But that is going to really depend on the gut and having to heal the gut in order to have magnesium be absorbed. And then there's also the factor of, well, how much magnesium can I take at one time that is going to actually be absorbed, and how much excess could cause diarrhea? Or if they are somebody that has poor absorption or is very deficient in magnesium, the body needs time to learn how to absorb it. So they could have symptoms of diarrhea, even though you gave them enough magnesium, because their body has not absorbed magnesium in a while. It hasn't seen it. It's like having a factory that's been off for a few years and then turning it back on and asking everybody to work again. So a lot of the issues that or concerns we have with patients coming in are all the elements in general: calcium, magnesium, zinc, and your B vitamins. All collectively, chances are, if they're low in magnesium, they're low in a lot of these different elements. That's why we genuinely created this whole Myers cocktail in a bottle, because who also has time to come get an IV every day? It's just not feasible. It's not. Financially, it's not feasible, and time commitments, it's not feasible. So that's one. The second aspect that I like to think about product-wise is we've got a really good metabolic product, really good one. That is the metabolic regulation and diet support. I love this product. Let me see this. There's so much stuff in it. I would pair it with this. Let me see what we have. I would pair it with this because it's got all the other elements that they essentially need, because these elements intracellularly work hand in hand. Elements are either telling water to go in or water to go out, salts to go in, salts to go out. So it's really important to understand also how that could impact their ability to respond to the hormones we're providing them, right? Because if I'm just giving a patient hormones, we're asking for an adaptogenic response. If they're coming in with low hormones anyway, chances are their adaptogens are drained as well. So if we're just giving them one piece of the puzzle, these other elements that are co-messengers, they're co-messengers that say relax the muscles, bring water intracellularly, remove water extracellularly. Hydration is necessary. So we're looking at two systems involved. We're talking about intracellular level of hydration, and then we're also talking about transference of hormones through the lymphatic system. All of these require elemental support. They require B vitamin support. So that's a very intricate part of what we're doing that is a big differentiator for our clients, for our patients. To understand that once you understand that no response is a bad response, that it's actually a tool, we're able to relax the patient. Oh my God, I got all these side effects. Or no, you didn't. You didn't get a side effect. You got a response. And that response is telling us something. It's telling us something. So if someone is requiring more and more and more progesterone, chances are their elements are incredibly depleted, because these systems heavily rely on these elements as co-messengers. They rely on vitamin D as a prohormone. So the problem that we have in society today is, oh, take your vitamins, or vitamins are crap, or these are the best vitamins. They're not a tool. They're not understood and respected as much as we would say, what should I dose this testosterone? What should I dose this estradiol? You know, what is my regimen going to be for this particular patient? So I would start generically with something like a Myers MD for these patients, because I would want to see a full immunomodulational response, not one specific direct response where I'm just going to pound magnesium in their body. I want to see a holistic response. It's like someone coming into your practice and all they're getting is a testosterone pellet. What are the chances of success with one individualized dose? There are so many responses from putting anything into the body. We have to be prepared for the response we get back from our patients. We have to not panic if they require a lot more than someone else does. We just have to understand why. We have to understand why one patient needs an implant in 6 weeks versus one needing it in 3 to 4 months. We have to understand why. But more importantly, we have to understand the probability of why. The probability of why. If these hormones are traveling through a lymphatic system and I'm dealing with someone that has a BMI greater than 30, 35, that is a lymphatic system response. That is a depot response that they're going to get with hormones. If I have someone with a BMI of 22 and someone with a BMI of 35, they're going to metabolize different. Because look at how much more of a lymphatic system and a depot we have someone with a higher BMI than someone with a BMI of 22. The same thing goes with hormones and vitamins and prohormones and minerals. The same thing goes. So for us, we have to start with a more generic profile so that we can identify the specifics down the road. Because chances are their gut needs work, their hormones are low, and the byproduct of their lifestyle is what brought them to you anyway for help. So the constrictive mentality, the mentality of an absolutism approach to a patient, treatment protocol equals failure. Elon, it equals a more probability of failure and a difficulty of understanding retention and being able to retain those patients. So I will leave it open now for questions or anything that's kind of popped up while I've kind of spoken about this, because I think it's important. Anything?
Brenda, did Sam answer your question on magnesium?
Yeah.
Do you feel comfortable
I do
recommending?
think
Do you feel comfortable recommending those products?
Yes, definitely.
Cool. Yeah, and listen. Yeah, and listen. I'm getting some feedback. Here. Is that?
I don't know if that's me.
Am I still getting feedback?
No.
Okay.
Can't hear you.
Christy, do you have a question or a thought?
Does it make it do that when I talk?
Probably.
Good.
Probably.
Well, I did notice that is it giving feedback again?
Go ahead.
Okay. I did notice that when we really started working supplements into the regular regimens, like really pushing it instead of just recommending per se, we had a lot less cancellations within the first 6 to 8 weeks. I think that a lot of the reaction from taking the supplements mimics some of the symptoms that they think they're having from hormones, and these deficiencies in and of themselves can help, so that 6 to 8 weeks when they're expecting to like sit down in their car from their first implant and feel great, they realistically can get relief and get some symptom relief from the supplements. So I think that's why it's so important that every office really utilize the ones we have, because every single one we have has something to do with symptoms that are so similar and can give them relief right away.
Yeah, I appreciate that, because it's true. That's why a lot of what we've done is like designed formulas, because honestly, they can get magnesium anywhere. They can, and we want them to. We want to spread that love and spread that wealth. That's not what we're doing here, right? And we're trying to really understand who's sitting in front of us. What do they require? Why have they failed themselves to get here? Something went wrong for them to get here. Was it what they understood or how they understood it? That needs to be clarified. Because if, like you said, the expectations, what is happiness? Happiness is when expectations meet reality, right? Happiness is when expectation meets reality. And our job is to manage the expectation and get them to understand reality. That's what would lead, and give them the right tools that gets them to understand what's going on in their body. Because it's all connected. They're essentially, if we look at the body and the work that we're doing, there is hormone modulation, right? We all understand that. There's neurotransmitters and the responsibility of neurotransmitters. And then the fact that these neurotransmitters live in the gut. And then we have the cortisol system, the Napoleon of the body, that's saying, do this, do that, go to bed this, you're tired, right? We have and then on top of that, we have all these adaptogens floating in that universe where we're kind of picking and choosing, the body's picking and choosing what it needs. So when you look at a patient and you say, we would like for you to fast intermittently, it's really good for you. We're convinced on intermittent fasting. Why are we convinced? What is the number one reason we ask patients to have intermittent fasting? What's one big reason?
Helps their health.
Yes, Brenda?
For apoptosis, where they have the cell death, and so it helps with it helps make them feel more, their mind is going to be more clear, and it helps the body work on other things, besides digesting food all the time. It gives their liver a break. There's so many things.
It's like, I'm going to share something with you that I've kind of learned. I'm going to share something with you that I kind of learned that kind of sums up why I intermittent fast, okay? Whatever you believe in, whether it's God or a universe or a higher power or multiple gods or a greater good in front, our body is, we were born designed to sleep. Okay? We were born designed to sleep. If we weren't, we'd be up 24/7 and the world would be running around 24/7, right? No one can disagree there. The greatest subconscious and conscious state of the mind, you achieve it meditating while awake, right? But the human design, you achieve meditation while sleeping. Our body was designed to meditate while sleeping. Think about it. When you have absolute clarity where you're disconnected from this realm and this world, whether you're doing it through yoga, whether you're doing it through different practices, wherever you are, connecting with yourself, journaling, whatever it may be, you are completely detaching from all the attachments within you. The same thing happens when we go to sleep. We're designed to meditate, whether we like it or not. Our body is designed to fast, whether we like it or not. Our body goes to work when we fast for us. When we're not fasting, we're forcing the body to work. We're telling the body how and what and when to do something, when the body is already perfectly designed to do it for us. And the longer the intermittent fasting, the longer the break in between, the greater the body can do the work. That's when we can actually produce growth hormone. That's when we have stem cell regeneration.